So what if I told you that you could learn the exact basic grammar you need to start speaking English? Not next month, not next week, but today. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do in this explainer. Let's jump right in.
Okay, let me ask you a question, and be honest. Does this sound like you? You can understand English perfectly fine, right? You watch movies, you read articles, but the second you try to speak, your mind just goes blank. It's a super common feeling, and we're going to fix it.
Yeah, that blank mind. And then these thoughts start racing, don't they? Is my grammar right? Am I using the right tense? Oh no, what if they laugh at me? Look, that fear is real. But here's the secret. The idea that you need perfect grammar to speak is actually the biggest thing holding you back.
And here's the absolute truth. People who are fluent in English, they are not walking around using super complex advanced grammar. No way. They are masters of the basics. They use simple grammar, and they use it naturally. That is what we're aiming for today.
So, here's our plan. It's simple. First, we'll bust that speaking confidence myth. Then I'll show you the one simple formula that's the backbone of English. After that, we'll get into describing your world, talking about your daily routine, telling stories, and then, the big one, starting real conversations. Every step is designed to build on the last.
All right, let's get into it. The single most important thing you need to do is change how you think about grammar. Stop thinking of it as a bunch of boring rules you have to memorize. Instead, think of it like playing with Legos. You're not memorizing rules, you're building something.
And what are we building? We're building sentences. That's all speaking is. If you can build one simple sentence, you can speak English. Seriously, I am ready. I understand. I need help. That's speaking. We're focused on practical grammar today, not the stuff you find in a dusty old textbook.
Okay, so if speaking is all about building sentences, what's the instruction manual? Well, it turns out there's one incredibly simple formula that is the backbone of almost every sentence in English. If you can get this down, you've unlocked the whole thing.
And here it is, subject plus verb plus object. Let's break that down. The subject is just who or what is doing the action. The verb is the action, and the object is the thing that receives the action. That's it. This simple pattern is the secret to sounding clear.
Check out how this works in real life. I eat rice. Subject, verb, object. She drinks coffee. Same thing. They play cricket. It's always the same pattern. You can make endless sentences with this right now. I watch YouTube. I learn English. See? You're already doing it.
Now, this is really important. The order matters a lot. You can't just mix it up. Eat I rice just sounds, well, confusing, right? But I eat rice is perfectly clear. Following this structure is what makes you sound natural.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about what is probably the most useful, most important verb in the entire English language, the verb to be. This little guy is your key to describing everything around you, your feelings, your job, people, places, you name it.
And the formula for it is just as easy. Subject plus the right form of be, that's is, am, or are, and then whatever detail you want to add. Think about it. I am happy. She is a doctor. They are busy. You're going to use these sentences every single day.
Now, here's a super common mistake a lot of learners make. They forget the be verb. They might say something like, I happy, or she very kind. But you need that little verb to connect the sentence. Without am or is, the sentence just feels incomplete, almost broken.
And the rule for which one to use? It couldn't be simpler. I always goes with am. For he, she, or it, you always use is. And for you, we, or they, you always use are. That's it. If you can master this one little table, your speaking will instantly become clearer.
Okay, so we've got our building blocks. Let's start putting them together to talk about your daily life. For this, we use something called the present simple. Don't worry about the name, just know it's what we use for habits, routines, and things that are generally true. For this tense, there's really just one tiny rule you have to remember. For I, you, we, and they, you just use the normal verb. I work, they speak. Easy. But for he, she, or it, you have to add an S to the end of the verb. So, he works hard. She speaks English. That little S is so easy to forget, so really pay attention to it.
Okay, so now you can describe things, you can talk about your daily routine, but how do you tell people what you did yesterday? How do you share your stories? For that, we need the past simple.
This is the grammar of storytelling.
The formula is, you guessed it, simple. It's just the subject plus the past tense version of the verb. You use this for anything that's already finished. What you did yesterday, last week, 10 years ago. For example, I watched a movie. She called her friend.
So how do you make a verb past tense? Well, for a lot of verbs, you just stick ed on the end. So watch becomes watched. Finish becomes finished. But you have to watch out because some of the most common verbs are irregular, like go becomes went. Using these correctly is what lets you connect with people by sharing your experiences.
So far, everything we've talked about is making positive statements. But you know, a real conversation isn't just one person talking. It's a two-way street. You have to be able to ask questions, and you have to be able to say no. These are the real building blocks of a dynamic conversation.
And the way to do this is actually pretty straightforward. To make a sentence negative, you just need a little helper verb like do not or did not, and to ask a question, you just pop do, does, or did right at the beginning of the sentence. So I like coffee becomes I do not like coffee, or did you watch the game?
But here is one last super important rule. When you use did not to talk about the past, the main verb goes back to its original, simple form. You wouldn't say I did not went. The did already tells us it's past tense, so you say, I did not go. This is a tricky one that even advanced speakers mess up sometimes.
So let's wrap all of this up with the most important idea of all. Please, please do not wait until you feel perfect to start speaking. Fluency doesn't come from memorizing rules in a book. It comes from using those rules, however imperfectly, when you actually speak. Start small. Speak every day. You will make mistakes, and that's not just okay, it's how you learn.
So, I'll leave you with this challenge. Using the simple formulas we talked about today, subject plus verb plus object, the verb be, the present, or the past simple, what is one sentence that you are going to build and actually say out loud today? Just start with one.